Today I'm going to install and plug in these holes of my Heritage Audio 500 series chassis with a couple of exciting pieces from Neve. We have an 88R compressor here, and this is brand new 88R LBEQ from Neve, and I'm gonna go through the process of installing them into this chassis, and then we're going to test this. So first I'm gonna open it and install it. Basically, this is what it looks like. It's in a sealed plastic bag, so let me get something so I can take it out, but basically get a scissor. Be right back. So this is the front of the EQ. Going to just install this into the rack now. And next we are going to install the compressor right next to the EQ. The funny thing is it doesn't come with the rack screws. I mean, I had some extra ones, but you figured I guess it wouldn't hurt to throw a couple in for such a fancy piece of equipment, right? Just some promotional material and a sticker. But no rack screws. Here's the compressor. I'm just going to open up this plastic and try to align it right next to my EQ. The EQ took a little bit of convincing at first. Pardon me. There you go. And there it is. It's in. Let's double check. Sits. Yep. And luckily I had some extra screws. We're going to put them in. To the bottom first. I just have to figure out what to do about this empty spot, but one thing at a time. Okay, looks good. And next, we'll turn it on. Okay, this is the third time I'm trying to get this running here, so let me reset there. I have now installed the Neve 88R compressor and EQ into the 500 series. This is the LBEQ and the LBC. The LBEQ is a fairly new product. I think it just came out last month, and we're going to take a look and listen to that. The signal chain I have is preamp, EQ, and compressor. You can see the compressor is reading the output here, but it's not reading the input. These are linked in the back, so I can just go directly from the EQ to the compressor by selecting it in the back of the unit. This is a Heritage Audio OST. Let's take a look at the low. We have low frequency, low mid, and high frequency. And we have two switches that we can, two button pushes that we can do. It's a shelf, and this engages the two modes for the bell curve. The bell curve is either 0.7 or 1.8. This EQ will go from 33 hertz, which sounds well, first you have to engage the EQ. If I engage it, 33 hertz, which sounds like that. Wonderful. Or shelf sounds like that. And that's me removing it. That's 33. And how about with the high Q? That's 33 hertz. 33 hertz. And what I'm going to do is run this up now to the next, which is about 50 hertz. This is 50 and 100. 170. 300. Sounds wonderful, right? To 440. And then let me take the 0.7 Q here and go back as well. So this is now again 100. I'm going to engage the shelf, and this is 100 on the shelf. First started 33, 50, 100. What really boosts is here, and this is 170, 300, and 440. Let me see now what it sounds like if I go fully off here. This is 33 hertz, and this is now minus 20 dB. This is with a shelf, and I start at minus 20 and 33. This is 50 hertz, 100 hertz, 170 hertz. That is 300, and this is 440 hertz. And let's switch to bell curve, 1.8, 440, 300, 170, 150. Right, let me reset this here. So let's see what's a usable EQ curve here. If I just want to boost a little bit, get that nice kind of radio voice, I can get it somewhere around here. This is I'm guessing this is around 5 dB at roughly 100 hertz on, and that's on here, 100 hertz, off. All right, you get that nice bump. Let me go to the next, and let me reset this so I can actually set an EQ so we can hear more of the next frequency band. We are going into the low mid, and in the low mid you're going to have the controls for gain plus minus 20 dB. You're going to have 120 to 2 kilohertz frequency range, and the Q goes from 0.3 up to 7 Q. So here is now, let me go to 120, and let's bring the gain up for 120, and let's kind of hear this. This is in the middle, 120, 180, 400, 650, 1.3K, and 2K. Let me do the reverse. We're gonna scale away now. This is 2K, 1.3, 650, 400, 180, 120. Now let's go and see if we bring the Q all the way back to 0.3. So now you are affecting a larger area of this frequency range, and as I kind of go up, this is 2K. You're really getting a muddy sound. This is 1.3, 650, 400. Let's go now all the way to a narrow, so a narrow Q or narrow width. This could be useful, and if you find a specific frequency that you're not so, like right there, maybe so something like that, and you just pull it back a little bit, you get something where you get a little bit of a cut for that frequency if you feel like it's too boxy, and if you want to bring it back a little bit in that range, it takes away a little bit of that. If you hear that in my voice, it might sound a little boxy, and now it just carved it out a little bit. Let's now go and reset this, and kind of have to remember where we were. Here we go in the high. When we're talking about the high mid frequency band, same concept. We're going minus 20 dB starts at 800 hertz, goes up to 9K, and the Q is between 0.3, so really wide, to a narrower 7Q. So let's start with boosting, starting at 800. That's, ooh, wow, that sounds like all of a sudden I was transported into a telephone. Here's 800 hertz. This is 1.2, wonderful. Now we're at 2.5. This is 4, so that's roughly 3. This is 4, 7. You can hear that, and 9, right? 9, boosting all of that 9. Wonderful, right? Let's now go the opposite way. I'm doing it a little bit extreme. We're going to cut. So now we cut 9 with the bell curve right in the middle. 9. Sounds like I have a blanket over my face. About 7. 4. This is 4 kilohertz. 3 kilohertz. 2.5. 1 point, maybe 2-ish. 1.2, and all the way to 800 hertz. Let's now go through the Q and set this to a really wide, which is 0.3. So really wide, 800, 1.2, 2.5, 4, 7, and 9. Okay, let's boost that. But this is a wide Q at 9, 7, 4, 3, 2.5. This is roughly 1.7, maybe 1.2, and scaling it down to 0.8. Now we're going to go all the way narrow. So now I'm narrow. I'm boosting 20 hertz at 800 hertz, probably 1K, 1.2K. You can hear it. Yeah, and this is 175. You can have a 2.5K here. 3, 4, and but 7 and 9. If you have a specific frequency that's bothering you and you want to take that out narrowly, here you can find that frequency and take it out. This is with, and this without, with, without, or you might be able to go for a little wider curve and then boost that a little bit. So boost that up a little bit with, without. And last we have the high end, dealing with the same parameters that we have in the low end. We have a shelf and we have a Q. It starts at 1.5. So here's 1.5, and I'm pulling this back all the way. 1.5 at minus 20. This is about 2, 3.2, about 4. Sorry, about 4 in the middle here. 5.3, about 7, 8 hertz. And as you can hear, it sort of just kills all the high end. Let me go the extreme. Let me go the extreme here. This is 1.5. This is probably 2-ish. 3.2. 4. 5.3. Maybe you're looking at 6. I won't say those two numbers together, but after 6 comes, we all know it. Then we're inching up onto 8 here. 9, 10, 13, and 18. That's the range. Let's engage 1.5, 1.5. Sorry, this is 1.5, 1.5, 3.2, 3.2, and go up, sweep up the area here with a higher, larger area. Let's go finally into the shelf. Shelf at 1.5, 3.2, 5.3, 8, 13, and 18. So if you want sort of a lot of high, mostly what you get here is a lot of sibilants, right? You get that. So that's quite excessive. Let's see if we can get a nice tone for this voice. So maybe I'll find a frequency there that works and boost it up a little bit in the low end, somewhere around there perhaps. There was that frequency around 500 that was a little boxy for my voice. I'm gonna pull that back a little bit, maybe somewhere around there, something like that. This is now with EQ, without EQ, and then let's boost up a little bit, maybe here, somewhere around there, and with, without, with, without, with. So this is just a basic EQ. I can clean this up a little bit. If I go quite aggressive, maybe a little wider around here. So something like that. Neve EQ. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Without EQ, and this is with EQ. Check, check. Yeah, somewhere along here. Next, let's take a listen and take a look at the compressor. So I'm going to engage. The compressor has quite a few parameters that we need to be aware of. If we go from top to bottom, we have the threshold here. So we're going to figure out where we want to start compression. We have a ratio here, which is 1, which is no compression at all. 1.5, 2, 4, 8, and what's effectively really a limiter. You have the indicator here of the output and input, and if we don't have the compressor engaged, you won't see the input, but it passes through the audio. So once I have that input on, it will show me the signal coming in. Basically, if you see the yellow, it's crosses the +5 dBu, right? So now it's green, that a signal is present and detected. Once it crosses that 5 dBu, will be yellow, and anything over 1.8 dBu will show red. I don't know how loud I have to be to show. There we go. So the threshold goes from +20 to -30 dBu, and right here at the 11 o'clock position is 0 dBu. And you also have the gain reduction meter here that you will see when we engage the compression. The gain reduction meter goes from 0.5, 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, and you can get up to 50 dB of gain reduction. The attack here is using an adaptive attack technology. So that's program dependent. The attack time is 5 milliseconds without the fast attack. So if you need a faster attack, then it's in a range of 1.5 to 5 milliseconds. This is the switch that you engage the fast switch here. So let's talk about the release. The release rate is 30 milliseconds or 0.03 seconds up to 3. So if your release is here, that's the fastest release and that's the slowest release. You can also select the auto release. It's program dependent. It will automatically adapt itself, just like we have an adaptive attack on this compressor. Makeup gain, we go from 0 up to 30 dB, and 30 dB of makeup gain will definitely give distortion on your signal. If I pull this up, you're gonna get a lot of really crispy tones. That's just something to be aware of. Input is here, that engages the circuit, and now we're on. And then linking, you can link this for a multi-channel module, so you can link two modules together. You also have a side chain high pass here that is either 80 hertz, 125, or 300 hertz. So those one will not be affected by the compressor. Basically, it passes a high pass filter before the side chain. If you have low end material that you do not want to be triggered by the compressor, so that's how you engage those. And then finally, the auto makeup gain, if you engage that, it automatically will detect the makeup gain, and this potentiometer is disengaged. So if I have the auto makeup gain engaged, this doesn't work. So you see the makeup gain doesn't do anything because now it's automatically making up the gain according to the material, but according to the signal coming in. Let's start to get some compression on my signal. So let's first do the ratio, and maybe we want to start somewhere around in between 1.7 and 2. So this is 2 right here. The threshold, of course, if I go plus here, then it's not compressing. 0, it's starting to compress, as you can hear. And if I do it in this range, that's quite aggressive. Right now it's compressing anything that's basically below -30, so it's kind of anything is compressed. I'm going to take this auto makeup gain off there so you can kind of get a sense for it. But here, that's a very squashy compression. And of course, when I have the -30 and then even a bigger ratio, it just sounds like really squashy. We don't like that. So let's start from scratch here. Let's go to around 0 and listen to the ratio. So now we have about 1 to 3 dB of gain reduction. Let's set my auto release on so we get a sense of what that does. And let's go to a higher ratio. So when I go here to 4, then I have if I have big spikes in or louder content, this is what it will do. If I even go up to, let's say I am here at the limiter, then this should not exceed at any point. So this is what it will sound like in that instance. It's still not incredibly squashy. It's somewhat squashy, right? But you probably want to look for something along this line. So if you're talking in general, a podcast or something similar. But now I've set the threshold around 0. I feel like as I get louder or as I get more excited about something, it catches those. It will bring it down. And in this instance, I have it on auto release. Let's try another fast attack. The fast attack is engaged. The auto release is engaged. Disengaged. And really quick too, I'm going to take the EQ off here. This is just working with the compression. Again, signal flow is the 501 into the EQ, which is right now is disengaged, into the compressor. I'm using a warm audio WA47. Now the EQ is engaged, and this is the signal path that I have. Next, I am going to plug in a bass guitar and play a little bit, make some adjustments, and we're going to listen to the EQ and the compressor with that. All right, so now I've attached my bass to the high impedance signal of the Grace Design M501, and then we're going to test now the Neve EQ and compressor between the bass signal. So here's just how it sounds on its own, and don't judge my bass playing, please. Alright, so let's now see how the EQ responds to the bass. Let's engage the EQ. And just like I did with the vocals, let's go to the lowest setting and see what we get. And let's bring this up to 100 hertz. And let's go the opposite direction. Let's remove 100 hertz. Oh, why even have a bass at this point? Let's put the shelf on. So now I'm cutting below 30, 50 hertz. If you have a very boomy bass. All right, let's move up to the low mid. Again, that's gain plus minus 20 dB. The continuously variable control is between 120 hertz up to 2 kilohertz. And we also have, we can sweep between the width of the Q between 0.3 and 7. Okay, so now I'm roughly at 150. And it's a very narrow. That's a wide. I'm going to now sweep wide. Go narrow. Go 500 hertz. And I'm going to start removing now. Let's go, let's set that. That's normal that, and let's go to the high mid frequency. And this might be for a bass. You might be able to get some of the string attack or something like that. Same thing. We have plus minus 20 and 800 to 9K. So let's remove all of 800. Let's try to boost around 2.5K. Slightly. Let's bring the Q up a little bit, and let's do a nice boost. There's the high shelf. Well, if you get it up to that range, you get quite bright strength. And I have a shelf on. Try without. We are going to move on to the compressor now, and as I mentioned with the compressor, we have a couple of interesting features. When the input signal crosses +5 dBu, it turns yellow. +18 dBu, it turns red. We're going to work with threshold and ratio to try to get like a even tone. So then I'm not going to do the auto makeup gain. Let me try a fast attack. I'm going to do auto release. So now threshold. This is 2-to-1. Let's go 4-to-1, but it's quite aggressive. Let's try to auto makeup gain. I'm gonna see what it sounds like with this, with the bass. Bring the threshold down a little bit, and the ratio as well. Okay, with compressor and without. Slower attack time. try it without. So let's stop there, and I will continue to make other videos demonstrating the Neve 88 LBEQ and the LBC. They sound great. And next I'm going to record electric guitar with this. So stay tuned and hope you enjoyed.